Now for this week, I've got two games I'm really excited to talk about, but the first one I really couldn't wait to discuss, so I'm talking about it now, and that is Mecha Break. Now, for those of you that are unaware, this is a Gundam-style game where you pilot giant robots to fight other giant robots. Now, the one thing that this game does differently is most other Gundam or mech-based fighting games kind of make things very linear and very restrictive in where you're able to move and what you're able to access. But this game opens up the play field, the arena, so that you can destroy anything, you can fly anywhere, go anywhere, and it just feels a lot more fluid, and I feel like this game is a lot more replayable due to that fact. Now, speaking of which, you can play as a lot of different mechs, as there is one pretty much for every type of playstyle, whether you're a sniper, whether you're a tank or a support, or whether you're a melee or a gun-based brawler. There's pretty much a Gundam for whatever type of style you want to play as. But in these game modes, they do a really good job at making stuff feel very diverse, as you have a lot of different stuff to do, whether it's domination, a different style of tug-of-war based search and destroy, or a payload game mode, which is really fun because there are two payloads in play, so you'll have to make sure your payload is being pushed forward, but also try to sabotage the enemies. Now, there are a few more game modes to discuss, but the one thing I really want to talk about is the extraction game mode. Yes, they fit an entire extraction game mode into this game as well, and it really feels fluid with how everything else feels, with how you're able to pilot your mech, go around the map, get your shit, and get out. And I'm really excited to see how this game goes long term, because my one problem with a game like Gundam Evolution is they kind of overly put their time and effort into monetizing the game and making sure it was just play to win, essentially. Now, Mecha Break is free to play. However, there doesn't seem to be a lot of microtransactions, mostly just cosmetic stuff. However, there is 3 other mechs you can purchase in separate individual packs, and I'm not sure what the post-launch will be for this game, if they'll add in new game modes, new mechs to buy, new maps potentially. But this has definitely been a fun game to go in with my friends and play around with and just really kind of relax and just get enveloped in a game. Because I feel a lot of the times with these competitive games, it gets kind of too serious and too sweaty, to put it lightly. And this game does have its sweats, don't get me wrong. But at least with how it feels to play, it's not as detrimental as, say, like a Call of Duty lobby or something more competitive like that. You can hop into this game for a couple games and not really feel that defeat if you do lose. It kind of just incentivizes you to hop back in so you can pilot your mech again. At least from me personally, this is my personal experience. But it has been a really fun game to play. And like I said, my hope is that the community doesn't ruin it, and that the people behind the game focus on quality of content over just overtly putting, hey, pay money, make your mech look good, or pay money to get best mech, because that is the worst type of game model, because that will kill your game immediately. Cough, cough, Gundam Evolution, cough, cough. Man, I really miss that game. I wish it would come back. Now, the one final detail I want to put in is the fact that the character customization for your little guy that pilots the mech is very expansive. You can make some pretty creepy creations and pretty monstrous designs in it. I'm actually very surprised with how in-depth and how detailed the character creator system is in this game. But obviously the one point where they really pulled back on the budget is in the lobby section, where you're just kind of having your character walk around the overworld like you would see in like Destiny 2. We know where the budget went. It went to the high octane action, gameplay effects, and just overall presentation of the game. But that's pretty much everything I have to discuss when it comes to Mecha Break. It is free for all platforms, so go out of your way to play it because it is a really fun time. But I think at this point, I think it's time for me to send it back to me and my friends as we discuss Marvel Token Fighting Souls.